Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to Fantasy Forecast for Saturday, December 17th, 2016. I hope you guys won some really good money last night. DraftKings lineups behind me. Obviously, that's not a winner. You guys can pause and review that. But FanDuel was a crushing win. It just won everywhere. And even though it was 0.4 lower than yesterday's score, on a 10-game slate, go figure. It's just the nature of the beast. Like, Chicago put up only 69 points. I mean, it was just a horrible night across the board for a lot of picks. The only good spend up turned out to be Harden. And even though this lineup didn't have him, it cashed everything. 50-50s, quintuples, GPPs, you name it. So this was just a be happy day for Fantasy Forecast. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, guys. Thumb up the video if you won some money yesterday. I need some likes and I need some subscriptions. Come on, let's get it rolling. Because now we're on 2 in a row. Let's do 3 in a row to make up for the 3 losses in a row early in the week. It would make sense statistically. The lineup is beautiful. You guys can pause it. I'm not going to pause so much on wins either. I mean, we don't need to talk about the past. Let's move on to the future. Back into FanDuel, today's cash game lineup. Now, obviously, this is a little bit earlier, but it's a little bit of a shorter slate today, so I can analyze this. FanDuel has screwed it up. They have an early slate, and they have a late slate. And you know what? Let's go ahead and give you guys a bonus. Bonus! Today's early slate lineup. I don't need to go through this because it's just too short. You're basically adding in only the OKC game, and really the best player on the team is Westbrook. So, I mean, you can go against it a little bit and grab some Phoenix value, like a Booker or something, which I've done. But, you know, and Grant, I'm expecting that's going to play because I don't think Depot's going to run in this game again. I think this is the last game out, but, I mean, you might want to watch that carefully. It's the first game on the slate. You're going to know. And if that's the case, you're going to need to can Grant. But if Grant gets a starter's run minutes, I'll take it as fantasy glue at 3,500 on the early slate. Westbrook and Walker for your point guards, Booker and Batum for your shooting guards, Bazemore and Grant for your small forwards, Randall and Love at your power forward positions, and Thompson for your center today. That is the early slate only. Let's get into the main slate, the whole point. You guys can see the contests I have entered. It's just massive. So, yeah, and I do 50-50s, and I'm not done entering yet either. So, today's cash game lineup. I will run it in some GPP, of course. I run all the cash games lines I give to everyone always in GPP, just so I can track scoring. And if you run a really great line, you do want to capitalize from it. There's a video that normally posts, like right at the end of this, you guys can watch about how to do a cash lineup spread with upside. You watch that video, you guys will see how I do this. Point guards, Walker and Jennings. Shooting guards, Korver and Harden. Small forwards, Deng and Wiggins. Power forwards, Love and Green. And your center today, Thompson. Let's go through the picks real fast and analyze the slate quickly. Walker, take Atlanta against Atlanta for point guards right now. As long as it just continues to be a feasting fest, I will just continue to take it. I want Walker to come, you know, he had a day off, and I don't know why he went out, but it's almost like a day of rest to me. So he had a day of rest, perfect, let's play. Take Walker. Jennings, this is obviously dependent if Rose is out. If Rose stays out, you know what I mean? Jennings picks up the start, you're going to keep Jennings and keep the value. Old value stays to be good value. Gold doesn't get old and it doesn't lose its luster. You're going to keep Jennings today. He's easily more than 5 times value. That's just fine. You're looking for 300s plus, especially on a short slate. It's just the way you need to do it. Korver, if you haven't noticed, guys, he's only 100 above minimum on FanDuel. That's it. And he's getting like 30 minutes. This is a clear opportunity mismatch because they haven't repriced the fact that he's getting starter minute run. Run Korver. I don't like taking Atlanta players, but against Charlotte, it's in the middle of the pack, and I can take middle of the pack at minimum price. The opportunity is there. Harden, he was wonderful last night, and you're like, can you do it again on another night? Well, the wonderful was on a night when 11,800 and he puts up mid-50s in fantasy scoring, you know what I mean? And Davis does third, all the other ones don't do as well. So, yes, you can, but, he doesn't normally do great like on his back-to-backs, but he doesn't do miserable off of them. So, I would take Harden today as a great spend up. And do I think that he's going to get the multiplier of like 5 times or 6 times or 7 times? I don't even think he can pull 5 times. But if he pulled 4.5 and gave me 50 points on a short slate, I'll take it. It's a good spend up when there's other value. And he does have upside. No one can deny, no matter the opponent, that he has upside. Him and Towns could just get into a battle. They're both big men, and they could both end up shifting around positions, whether their coaches like it or not, and they could just start taking each other on, just like an old pickup game. We see it all the time in the NBA, even still to this day. Westbrook's in a couple games like that when his opponents want to get in his face, and well, specifically Harden. So it will happen. Harden's got the attitude to run it, and on the flip side of it, we all know Towns can too. Dang, 4,300, really cheap. It's a blowout, but at least you're on the right side of the blowout. Because Deng is around that 6th man position where he's going to see 28 to 30 minutes and maybe a touch more in a blowout, especially if he's doing okay at hitting shots. Now that's the question mark on this. But even if he's not, he does enough peripheral scoring where you can take this in a lineup and feel safe that, at least 21 points is secure. Because you're looking for 30, really. 20 is pretty darn secure with Deng's minute run. Wiggins is almost the same thing. If you give a guy 35 minutes and you run him against Houston, what do you expect? I'm going to expect at least 30 fantasy points, if not more. So that's a beautiful floor to pay out that 285 base that you need, and it sometimes pays on a 10-game slate like last night, but at the same time has a bit of upside. That's always what I'm doing with these cash lineups, if you haven't realized, guys. I'm always looking for a guy that should have a good floor. And this means I'm wrong sometimes too, and no matter, the best of picks can be wrong. If a guy gets injured, you just get screwed. That was the first 2 picks of my 3-game losing streak this week. 2 guys getting injured, so you know. But injuries happen. And then Davis got injured last night. He probably would have put up more points and it would have been a better score. But with a lot of people owning him, I'm not crying because it wouldn't have been enough to fully win. Everyone else's scores would have gone up too. Love and Green at your power forward positions. You have to love against the Lakers. Is there anyone worse against power forwards? Power forwards and centers just soak it up against the Lakers. So, I love because, and I almost think that they might key in on James and they might double team him. And if they do, where do we think all of it's going to go? Sure, James is going to get a few assists, I get it. But the guy's going to end up sitting after 3 quarters if it's a blowout, and you're going to be kind of crying because he didn't give you the point production that you needed to really get a good score out of him for more than $10,000 in salary today. I know it looks like a sweet spot, but the blowout is very bad for that reason. In this instance, you have to pick the selective guys that really make the blowout better. I mean, there's only a couple guys where the blowout, well, you can take the stud, it's a blowout because of the stud. Harden and Davis are the only 2 I can really, and Westbrook. They're the only 3 I can really think of. It's a blowout, but it's because of them, and that's it. Green. Green against Portland, look it up, guys. Portland is pretty darn bad against the power forward right now, too. And that's a fluctuating thing, and you kind of have to call which guy you want, so go ahead and call that you're going to take Green here, And I have a switch for you, and the switch is only going to be dependent on, at the top, if you get the news on Jennings that Rose is going to play. Because if Rose is going to play, then you're going to want to pull Jennings, and I'm going to show you the swap to do, and you can just swap it with Green there. So I know that's the most questionable kind of the spend-ups I've told you about right here, but rest assured this moves in a cash game lineup if you get that news. Otherwise, run this. It's all about numbers, guys. At your center, Thompson, you're basically playing Cleveland against the Lakers, and even if Thompson only does get 28 minutes instead of 32 or 33, which is what you expect for a good run on a good game, and they might sit the last 4 minutes, maybe 34, but if he doesn't, and he gets only 28, it's against the Lakers, and they're so bad against the center position that he should have no problem eating 25 plus fantasy points today, and you're looking for 300 across the board, and that's a 5 times value multiplier. You're looking for Green to get 41, love to get 42. Just go across the board at least 5 times, and if not that, close to it as a floor. That's the point. Real fast, let's go ahead and go through what your pivot's going to be. Now, you will pivot, and notice I have this in a free contest. If you're looking at the top, it says a 20-person. I do these in free contests so that you can always pivot and you know exactly what you're running right off the bat. Now, someone else could come out, but this is the planned injury. Put in Dennis Schroeder, spend up at the point guard. Most people look to spend down when they can't do something. They're like, what do I do? Spend up. Walker and Schroeder, because Schroeder's in an okay spot and a lot of people aren't going to be thinking of Atlanta. Your other one, which I will tell you about now and you can do, is Teague. Now you'll have to get $100 to clear it, but I'll go ahead and show it to you guys in a moment how you could do that too. So if this is just only if, Jennings doesn't turn out to be a value and Rose is for some reason playing. I think Rose will be out. But if he's playing, and it could happen, then Walker and Schroeder at your point guards, Korver and Harden at your shooting guards, Deng and Wiggins at your small forwards, Love and Randall at your power forwards, and Thompson for your center. Not much different. And you can consider running that anyways because I think it's still a solid lineup. But today's cash game lineup for FanDuel, and I'll review that in a moment after I go through today's cash game lineup for DraftKings. And DraftKings always, guys, I don't play DraftKings very often, so be aware. Walker at point guard, Harris at shooting guard, Korver at small forward, Love at power forward, Thompson for center, Harden for your guard, Faried for your forward, and your utility Jennings today. And DraftKings, it's always in every free contest that I can run it in, and if I pay money, I run it in the same things, or I will update you guys. So that's DraftKings and GPP only because my records aren't good enough on it yet. And FanDuel. At your point guard, Walker and Jennings. At your shooting guards, Korver and Harden. Oh, and at your small forwards, Deng and Wiggins. And at your power forwards, Love and Green. And finish it out with your center at Thompson today. All right, I've explained the picks today. I haven't gone through any other. If you want to talk about other players that are running today, please feel free to comment below and I'll be happy to comment about them today. There will probably be an update video today if there's last minute value that comes up. Guys, I will do that for sure because I'm posting this a little bit early. So, and I'm almost certain there's going to be value, even on this shorter slate. Now, if it doesn't come to fruition, these would be the lineups that you run, and I will confirm that on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter yet and you're looking for those last minute updates, definitely follow on Twitter. Get it if you don't have it, it's free, guys. And you can click on the link there and follow me on Twitter and you'll get last minute updates and when videos post and all that stuff. And you should be good to go. Okay, that's it for Fantasy Forecast for Saturday, December 17th, 2016. I'm sorry about not doing the run through. I'm trying to make these videos a little shorter for you guys. If you guys want to run through, comment below and I will run through all the positions as well. That's it for Saturday. Let's go win some money and let's enjoy football tonight too, along with basketball. But to me, basketball is always the bread and butter, guys. Football is just the side diversion and you can get real rich with a couple bucks on that. But let's make our real money on basketball. And that's it for Fantasy Forecast. You guys go out there and go win some big money today. And definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet.